Moving on, we have the top 10 hottest comic books of the week. At number 10, we have Strange Academy #1. Number 9 is Miles Morales, Spider-Man #6, the first appearance of Starling, first full appearance. Number 8 is Batman 99, the Jimenez 1 in 25 Nightwing variant. Number 7 is Spider-Man 365, the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. We all know he's coming to Into the Spider-Verse 2. He has to be. Number 6 is ARANA, the Heart of the Spider. Number 1, another Spider character. Number 5 is Undone by Blood. The Robinson variant, Undone by Blood #1, the Robinson variant. Number 4 is Avengers #8, the first appearance of Kang, the Conqueror. It's a tough book to get in high grade there, people. It is hot because of the announcement last week. Number 3 is Amazing Fantasy #1, the first appearance of ARANA, aka Spider-Girl. Number 2 is X-Men 12, the first appearance of the Summoner and first cover appearance of the High Executioner. And number 1 is Undone by Blood. All right, as we said, we do things a little bit differently here. Cover Price releases these top 10 on Monday. Our show's on Friday. We like to discuss. And Chris likes to pick out his top 3 from this list, the most interesting 3. So, Chris, take it away.
Got to start with my guy, Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man #365. Obviously, the focus of this book is on Spider-Man 2099. This is a book I have multiple copies of. I gave my sons copies of them when they were little so they can read, and I'm thinking, you know, like, whatever. It's a 90s gimmick book, so they say. Not right. I mean, who knew that these books can continue to have this much potential? Don't ever rule out 90s comics to gain value. This book is up. It sells 146%. And get this, a 9.8 newsstand sold for $1,225. Standard 9.8 CGC is going for around $225. Still, that's getting up there. Now, the really interesting thing about this book, though, is I just think this character does have a lot of potential. Like Jeff said, we think this character is going to have a bigger role in Into the Spider-Verse 2. But, you know, I think what they're doing with this character in the comic books right now is really solid. I just read the 2099 tie-in. And look, I was somebody that, like, years ago read the 2099 run. Spider-Man, not all of them. I know there was a X-Men 2099, Doom, Ravage 2099, and look, you know, maybe they flooded the market back then, but when I read that run, I enjoyed it. I read like 1 through issue 20 something or 30. I've always enjoyed the character. I've enjoyed the story. It really is another fresh take on Spider-Man. It's a lot different than your Peter Parker Spider-Man. I've been saying this a lot, and it might sound cliche with a lot of these characters, but I don't see this character going anywhere. I see this character being utilized in a lot of different ways here. I definitely see this book continuing to increase, not something crazy huge. So, you know, I don't expect people to go dump their money on these books for, you know, some bloated price, thinking that this book is going to increase tenfold. I mean, there's still a lot of them out there. So, but hey, I mean, look, if you could find this book and a near mint copy for $25 or less, I think it's a solid sound investment, because I think moving forward, this book has hit a threshold. If you can find a newsstand, you hit money for sure. So that's my number 3. Jeff, you got any thoughts on that one?
No, I agree. I had that book, bought it off the rack. I'm excited to see what they do with that character. He's an interesting character, Miguel Herrera, and I am excited. As Chris said, if you could find that for like 25 or under, absolutely snag it. Definitely snag it. It is, especially when a trailer comes out for Into the Spider-Verse, which is in production right now, the sequel Into the Spider-Verse. So he will be. I mean, he was in the stinger at the end there, so he will be in the movie. So find that book, purchase it, hold it, and if you want, flip it or display it proud that you got that book for cheap.
Press it, slab it, flip it.
Rub it down. Oh no!
Yeah, it's going to be the new T-shirt. Press it, slab it, flip it.
That is brilliant, actually. All right, moving on.
Yeah, trademark. Don't any of you steal Mike Sears.
Video.
Don't steal that, Mike.
Yeah,
don't steal
that's
it
a Mike Sears phrase, definitely. He's totally going to do that. Moving on.
All right. I will say, though, you know what? I've been because I've been diving into my kids' comic book bins, like as these books get hot, and I'm like, oh crap. I hope I didn't give that one to my kids, like the Kamala Khan First Appearance. I hope I didn't give my kids the newsstand copy of the 365. So I got to go digging. But all right, book two. Book two on my list. You guys know I like to talk about the independents, and that's Undone by Blood. Number one. We've had a lot of Image number ones show up in the last few months because we know there's a movie or TV deals. We had a lot of Boom Studios, lots of Boom Studios because they got that big deal signed. But Aftershock, man, Undone by Blood, number one, an Aftershock book is getting hot because there's been a confirmation that there is a TV deal underway under Norman Reedus's production company, Big Bad Bald Productions. Again, it's just, this is exciting. High raw sale in this book sold for 65. So man, that's a good chunk of money, you know, for a raw. Now, the thing that I like about this almost goes beyond the books. Okay. I'm not putting this on my list because, oh, look, an independent book is getting spec'd on and it's selling, a raw copy selling for $65. No, the bigger thing that's important to me of why this book is selling is because these stories are doing the comic book industry justice because they are being brought to cinemas, into TV, into streaming services. And that's huge. And it speaks so much to how comic books are such a feasible platform that it really goes way, way beyond your Spider-Mans and your Supermans and your Batmans and your superhero genre. So that's why I like to talk about these things. I like that they're getting the attention and that they're increasing in value and so forth. But I just love that they're getting the attention from these studios and from these streaming services or whatnot to say, look, we want to make a deal. We want to bring these characters and this story into a show, into a movie. And that to me speaks volumes. I think that is one element that's keeping the hobby healthy too, because I think it puts pressure on the comic books to continue to be fresh and creative with their storytelling. And I'll just lastly add, I think that the way that the film industry is looking at independence, with Feige coming over to the Marvel side, I think he's going to bring that element in too, because he's going to be saying, instead of Marvel looking at Marvel print, looking at Marvel Studios saying, oh, what are they doing in the movies? Oh, let's bring a new Infinity Saga, an Infinity Wars in the comics. Now, I think Feige is going to say, the pressure's on you guys as comic creators, as editors, as authors, as artists to create something fresh that we can then take and put it into Disney Plus or into the MCU on the big screen. So that's why I think this is big and impactful for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right, moving on to the next one. Your final pick.
All right, guys. My final pick. We talked about it last week. Clairvoyant Journo. I called this Avengers number 8, first appearance of Kang the Conqueror. As you all know, we got an announcement that Kang will be showing up in Ant-Man 3 as the main antagonist. And this book, wow. Guys, you got to have money in your pockets for this one. A 321% increase in sales over the week with a high sale of a CGC 7.5, which is a really solid grade, selling for $1,500. Now, remember, guys, I did my video, my top cosmic Marvel books to invest in, right? This was number 2 on the list. And when I did that video, it was 2 days before the official announcement. Fair market value of an 8.0 was at $1,250. Now you have a 7.5 selling for $1,500. So the book has already increased. It's not through the roof yet. You know, you got to keep in mind that this was already a high blue chip valued Silver Age key. So you're seeing it increase. This is one of those that it's already had steady increases because of the book being the book itself. With each stage of announcement, though, you gotta understand that this book is going to really get higher and higher when we see the first look of Kang, or when we see that preview, that trailer this book is going to increase like crazy. So look, maybe in a 7.5, this book is increased by a few $100s in value right now. If you have that money in your pocket, I do believe, my opinion, I do believe if you buy the book right now, you're going to have a return on investment that's going to be profitable. But that's just my opinion. Don't take my word for it. I don't have that kind of money laying around, so I won't be buying this book. I do not own it, but good luck to all of you.
Yeah, that's some advice right there. If you can pick this book up, do so, because he's gonna, from what we're reading, from what we're hearing, he's gonna be ingrained into the Marvel universe. He's not just gonna be a one and done character, and he definitely has the depth because he's sparred with Fantastic Four, Avengers, X-Men, everybody across the board. So he's somebody that can fill a role to be a baddie, or sometimes even he's kind of in the gray area. He's not completely bad. He's not completely good. So absolutely pick it up. All right, that concludes our top 10 hottest comics of the week.